P3 performance strategy, we're dealing with controllability related to responsibility accounting. The drawbacks of the controllability principle are: interdependence creates responsibilities. Operating profit dissolves the divisional manager's control. One of the limitations of operating profit as a measure of divisional performance is the inclusion of costs. One of the limitations of operating profit as a measure of divisional performance is the inclusion of costs over which the divisional manager has no control. The need for the company as a whole to make a profit often demands that corporate costs be allocated to divisions so that these costs can be recovered in the prices charged. Repeat, the need for the company as a whole to make a profit often demands that corporate costs be allocated to divisions so that these costs can be recovered in the prices charged. However, research by Merchant concluded that controllability principle was not found in practice. Transfer pricing influences results. Transfer pricing results in a situation whereby divisions sell their intermediate products or services internally within the organization. The price at which the transfer takes place may be dysfunctional for particular divisions or for the organization as a whole. Care needs to be exercised when holding managers accountable for reasons that are heavily influenced by internal transfer prices. Divisionalized structure affects portrayal of divisional performance. Repeat, divisionalized structure affects portrayal of divisional performance. Divisionalized structure affects portrayal of divisional performance. Roberts and Scappens, 1985, have argued that in a divisionalized company, there is a distance between the division and the head office, such that the context in which accounting information is gathered, the division, will often be quite different from the context in which it is interpreted, the head office. This may result in manipulating the accounting reports in a partial or misleading portrayal of divisional performance. Repeat, Roberts and Scappens have argued that in a divisionalized company, there is a distance between the division and the head office, such that the context in which accounting information is gathered, the division will often be quite different from the context in which it is interpreted. This may result in manipulating the accounting reports or in a partial or misleading portrayal of divisional performance. Divisionalized structure affects the portrayal of divisional performance. The divisionalized structure affects the portrayal of divisional performance. Roberts and Scapins, 1985, have argued that in a divisionalized company, there is a distance between the division and the head office, and such that the context in which accounting information is gathered, the division, will often be quite different from the context in which it is interpreted, which is in the head office. This may result in manipulating the accounting reports or in a partial or misleading portrayal of divisional performance. Evaluating responsibility centers. The following are traditional evaluation methods for different responsibility centers. Types of centers. Revenue center. The traditional evaluation method for a revenue center. Sales variances, sales price variances, sales volume variances. Cost centers. Costs, cost prices, cost variances, as well as the various standard costing variances and spending variances. Profit centers. Gross profit or contribution margin, operating income and net income, plus the variances for sales such as the ones in the revenue and cost centers. Investment centers. Traditional evaluation control methods. Return on investment. Return on sales times capital turnover, or net income divided by sales multiplied by sales divided by total assets, or net income divided by total assets. Residual income is essentially the same as economic value added. Evaluating investment centers. Return on investment. Investment centers are evaluated with return on investment, or ROI. Capital turnover ratio. The capital turnover ratio reflects management's ability to generate sales from a given investment base, and reflects the overall productivity of the segment. Note that the source of the investment, i.e. the debt or stockholders' equity, is usually considered irrelevant. Productivity is generally defined as some measure of output per input. In the return on investment, output is defined in terms of sales, dollars, and inputs are typically represented by total sales. Return on investment may be increased in various ways. Some possibilities include the following: increasing capital turnover, which is sales plus investment. Increase sales with the same investment base, or decrease investment base with the same sales level. You can also increase the profit margin or return on sales. Net income divided by sales. Increase prices with no unfavorable effects on sales. Increase prices with no unfavorable effects on sales. Decrease cost with no unfavorable effects on quality or increase in assets employed. Increase sales with no changes in prices or costs. Evaluating investment centers, return on investment or economic value added. Residual income or economic value added is calculated as follows. The minimum desired rate of return used in the return residual income or EVA calculation is usually transferred to as the cost of capital, which is a weighted average measure of the cost of long-term debt and stockholders' equity. Using residual income or RI avoids this problem, but creates a different problem. Using return on investment makes it difficult to compare the performance of different size divisions.